Good morning.
Are you ready to be a success? Master your career, a success. Do you believe it? Come on, let's be a success. See, are you ready to be a success? She's a career master. A success, a success, a success, a success.
Good morning. Top of the morning to you. I am Dr. Lisa Lindsay Wicker, and I welcome you to the Career Mastered Inside Career Success Show. I am your host for today and the CEO of Linwick and Associates and the publisher of Career Mastered magazine. Welcome once again to the show. I'm ecstatic that you're here. Today's show is like all others, fabulous, amazing, and always something new. This show is about high achieving women, women who are mastering their careers, women who are lifting other women, women who are supporting other women, women who give back and who are in the marketplace, compelling themselves to do the business of business. And so I welcome you here today because I have an amazing, remarkable leader with us today. I can't wait to introduce her. And oh, by the way, I need to tell you just a little more about Career Mastered Magazine. I always do, so just give me a moment to do so. Career Mastered Magazine has been in existence since 2018. We launched in New York, Charlotte, and Detroit. And since that time, starting across the nation, we are now global. And I am so grateful for the support that we've been given. It's a quarterly publication that is about the business of advancing women's leadership and paving the way for the next generation of girls. And so, thank you for your support. Thank you for helping us curate information and content so that women can lead and lead in marvelous ways. Today, I am pleased to welcome a global leader, a woman that is about the business of helping others as well as showing us how to do it. And so, let me introduce you to Venita Fields. Let me bring her on. Hi, Venita.
Good morning. Hi, Lisa. How are you?
I am great. Good to see you. Happy top of the morning. It's beautiful here in Charlotte. That's where I am. And we have a bright, sunny day. So I am just ecstatic about what we're getting ready to talk about.
Well, likewise, I'm in Chicago, in the Chicago area, in Evanston, and it is bright and sunny today. And we're expecting 70-degree weather tomorrow, so
Oh
it's
my
even
gosh.
more reason to be excited.
Oh
So
my goodness.
spring
Yes,
is coming. It
we're
won't
getting
last
it.
long, but it's coming.
I know. I can't wait. So, hey, audience, and those that are here with us today, thank you for joining us. Let me introduce you to Venita Fields. And as I always say, I never try to guess at people's bios. I'm going to take the time to read it. Okay, so Venita Fields is an independent corporate board director and financial services professional with over 40 years of experience as a corporate lender and as a private equity investor. Ms. Fields is currently a general partner with Pelham S2K Managers LLC, providing private debt capital to middle market businesses throughout the United States. During her career, she has invested over 2.0 billion, and did you hear me everybody? 2.0 billion in the middle market companies. She was recognized for 5 consecutive years, 2017 through 2021, by Mergers and Acquisitions magazine as one of the most influential women in the mid-market M&A. Ms. Fields serves as an independent director on the boards of four, listen, one, two, three, four privately held companies and one public company. Congratulations on that. I have to stop and say that is remarkable. And
Thank you.
I really think that we need to recognize talent and leadership when it's there. So congratulations on that.
Thank you, Lisa.
Ms. Fields believes in giving back as well. And so not only has she the responsibility of 4 privately held companies and 1 public, she is on several other community boards, including the Greater Chicago Food Depository, the Ann Robert L. Lurie Children's Hospital Board, and the Ravinia Festival Trustee Board. Currently, she serves on the board also of Moran Center for Youth Advocacy. I probably can go on, but that, my friends, is a perspective of who Miss Venita Fields is. Welcome, Venita.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here, and thank you for this opportunity and this recognition.
Absolutely. And you're also here because you're being honored by Career Mastered Magazine this year as a part of the class of 2022 of Leaders in Action. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, we're excited. This year, we're hosting the event in Charlotte, North Carolina, and Ms. Fields will also, Venita will be speaking at the conference. So for those that have not picked up your live tickets, do that today. We're pretty much sold out for the the on-site event. So we're excited about that. But let's get right into our questions and our conversation here today. And I'm going to turn on my chat to see who I have comments from. Hi, Beatrice. Oh, hi, Beatrice. It's so good to see you. Beatrice is from Nigeria. She's
Oh, wow.
staying up with us over there. I hope that I'm sure you should be asleep right now, but thanks for joining us, Beatrice. Beatrice and I are connected through her companies. She has an organization for widows, and she is an amazing leader over in Nigeria, helping to find voice for those who have become widows, women that do not have voice there.
That's great.
So I'm an ambassador on her program. So let's talk, Venita. With an impressive career as a general partner with Pelham S2K Managers, providing debt capital, my goodness, and all of the things that you've done. I think you said $2.0 billion in terms of what you've been able to share. Please tell us about your backstory. Where have you been and how did you get to this space?
Well, I know we only have a little bit of time, so I'll try to be brief. So, but I have to give a shout out. I have Southern roots. I was raised in Mississippi, and
Let's stop right there. Mississippi, we home, girls. I love
yes,
it. Go ahead.
A small town called Greenwood, which was a town of about 20,000 people, which was big back then. But so I grew up the child of two teachers who very much believed in the power of education. And so they encouraged me to fly at a pretty early age. I went to, when I was 14, actually, I went to a girls' boarding school in Virginia and received a scholarship to go there, which led me to Northwestern University. And so that's how I settled in Chicago. But I started out as a sales representative for a small steel company, not so small, a steel company in Chicago, actually selling steel, plates, bars, and it gave me an opportunity to go out and actually learn how to sell things.
Yes.
Who would think that a Black woman in the 70s would know how to sell steel products in Chicago? But I did that for 5 years. And I loved selling. I loved meeting people. I loved closing the deal, but I didn't love the industry. As you might imagine, a Black woman in the 70s in the steel industry it was a pretty rough going culturally on many fronts. We won't digress. So I started looking around, and someone suggested that I look into banking. And I said, why would I do that? First of all, I have a history degree. I don't know a debit from a credit. I have no idea what's happening. And this person said, well, you can go to a bank training program and they can provide you with all the technical skills. But what you have, Venita, is the ability to sell products. And that's what banks are looking for. So that the rest is history. I entered a bank training program at a bank that no longer exists, unfortunately, Continental Bank. And for the next 20 years, I pursued a banking career, primarily making loans to middle market businesses, first in Chicago and then nationally.
Wow.
In the late 90s, I met a young Black woman who asked me to join her firm to open up an office here in Chicago, and she had already started her own private equity firm. She was African American like me. She lived in Connecticut, and she wanted to have a national presence. So I left Bank of America, left big corporate America, and joined this small firm. And over the next 20 years, we raised 3 private equity funds and invested in about 40 companies.
Wow.
And that's how I got my private equity experience. I got an invitation from another African-American woman, and we became partners. Unfortunately, I lost her in 2019.
Oh.
But since then, I've formed other partnerships with three males. So life continues. I I'm currently a partner at Pelham S2K Managers, and just trying to live the dream.
Well, you are living the dream. I mean, I have so many questions that I want to ask, but what I want to do is um, talk a little bit about Pelham. I mean, 65% from what I read of venture capital firms have no women founders and partners. And here you are, a general partner. I mean, how does that happen? And particularly for um, young women that might be in college right now, right, watching this, or their mothers are, is banking the route, and what does it take to get into that kind of space? Did you have a non-traditional route, or is that particularly the route? You meet people, you have to be in finance. What do you think?
Well, I think my route was, by today's standards, my route was pretty non-traditional. But as women and as African Americans, sometimes our route is a little bit more, is longer,
Yeah,
and a little bit more circuitous than
yes,
than my white male counterparts. But banking gave me a great credit foundation. But if it weren't for another African American woman asking me to join her firm, I don't really know how I would have been able to get into private equity. I
hmm,
think today it's a little bit better, not perfect by any means, but investment banking is another route to getting into private equity. I was not an investment banker, and it was difficult because I'd already had 20 years of experience and could not really go into a partnership role. It would have been more difficult to just immediately leap to being a partner if it weren't for this wonderful woman who asked me to join her. So,
wow,
but today there's a recognition in the private equity arena that there aren't a lot of people of color,
hmm,
and some of these bigger firms are being called to task for that. A lot of their investors, which are state and municipal pension funds, are asking them about the diversity of their staff, and they're kind of forcing them to basically open up the doors a little bit and let people of color and women in.
yes,
Now, there is an organization called the National Association of Investment Companies, the
hmm,
NAIC, that consists solely of private equity managers of color. It's an association that's over 40 years old. It's headquartered in Washington, D.C. And I have to give a shout out to that organization because there's information about the different funds. You can do some networking, perhaps meet some people through this association that might give younger women avenues to getting into private equity.
wow, that's good information. I just popped that in the comments. It's called NAIC, and
Right.
it's
National
helping.
Association of Investment Companies. It is the trade association for minority managers, fund managers in the country. I
I'm
have to
writing
give a
that
shout out
down.
to them.
I'm writing that down. Right. I'll put that in it. Okay, that's great information. That's exactly what we want to do here today for people that are interested. I know we're also at the summit. We're going to be talking about venture capital for women that are trying to actually get funding for their, projects and the things that they want to accomplish. So this is very good information, not only about women on boards, but also the fact that you have kind of a dual role, as I see, in terms of wealth of information. One of the things that you said, I really want to tap into this. You said that you believe that John Wesley, I believe it is, inspires you. And it was do all the good you can by all the means that you can, in all the ways you can, in all the places you can, and at all times you can. I find that as well, it resonates with me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess tell us a little bit why that also is an inspiration for what you do in terms of success.
Well, first of all, for those of you who don't know, John Wesley was an evangelist, and he started and formed the Methodist Church,
Yes, he did.
specifically in this country. And I'm a Methodist, third generation, proud to say.
AME?
Uh, yeah, no, Methodist, nope,
Just
not
Methodist.
African,
Okay,
no, just
okay.
straight Methodist.
Just straight Methodist.
Straight
Got it.
Methodist. My mother was a Methodist. My grandfather was a
Okay.
class leader in the Methodist Church,
Oh, wow.
and John Wesley was just someone that we that epitomized evangelism, justice, and giving back.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw that lived out through my mother's and my parents' lives. And so it's just kind of in my DNA to always be of service.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just, I can't even describe, how just growing up and watching my parents not only be teachers in the community, but also be activists and leaders in the community when we were when we were all segregated. I'm showing my age, but
that's okay.
I grew up.
We're all in this together.
Yes, I grew up in the segregated South, and so we were about fighting for rights and lifting our people up. And so my mother, I grew up watching her lead all these different meetings, whether it was a church meeting or a civic meeting. She was always in charge of a meeting. She was still a great mother, raising two daughters. She had a husband, my father, who she cooked for every day.
Yeah.
And so, she did it all. She was a powerhouse, and she was my role model. So unfortunately, I don't know any other way to be.
Well, we when you and I first met and started to talk, and by the way, I know for a fact that you help other women. You've already helped me in so many ways, just by way of an introduction from some other woman, particularly Cindy. I just think that you open up your doors to me without hesitation. So I've witnessed the give back from you. But more importantly, I love the fact that we have some similarities because, of course, we're both from Mississippi. You're from Greenwood. I'm from Greenville. So we have the same background in terms of coming from the segregated South, right? In the same time frame. When I asked, I wanted to know about your hometown. You've already told me a little bit about your mom and the foundation. And so I can understand that you had support in the church, at school, all the way around you. There was no getting wrong. You were always going to get it right because you had people to do that, to help you, right?
That's right. It was a community. It really was a community. If you sneezed and on one block, somebody knew and reported it in the next block. I'm telling you. Which is one of the reasons I had to leave, but still.
I know what you're telling the truth. I'm telling you, snap, because I know you could not even get home without your mom already knowing what happened, because the teacher, the principal, everybody went to the same church. It was just
That's right. It was a small circle.
I know it.
But it was powerful.
I know it. Well, I tell you what, tell me a little bit about your entrepreneurship. I think that you're experiencing that as well. Am I right? As a part of what you do. And some of the women that are watching us. Hi, Tisha. Thanks for joining us today. Tisha says, yes, I'm actively seeking funding to grow my media relations. I am all ears to this lady. So she's listening. From an entrepreneurship, you said, I don't want to discourage people from trying it. Anyone who has a burning desire or dream should pursue it, but you need to have a plan to get there. Tell us your thoughts on that. That's from you.
Well, we all have dreams and aspirations, but in today's society, we need to be armed with as much information and strategic vision as possible. And so, you just need to know how to run a business. What are the fundamentals of running a business? You need to understand cash flow. It's great to make a sale, but until the person pays you back, you're still poor, right? Yeah. So the fundamentals of finance are critical. And you don't have to get an MBA to get those fundamentals, but you just need to know that chasing the big fish is great, but when you get the big fish, how are you gonna service it? Do you have cash to buy inventory or whatever you need to do to deliver the product to the customer? And then you can't wait 90 days for the customer to pay you. You need to be paid in 30 to 45 days.
Yeah. So
those are fundamentals that you need to have. And there are courses that you can take. Today there's so much information. I mean, it's incredible. To me, there's no excuse for not being armed with certain financial tools that you need to be successful. Mm-hmm. So have a dream. And then the second thing is maybe you don't get it right the first time.
That's true.
But if you can leave as little damage behind as possible. In other words, your reputation precedes you.
Yeah.
And so you need to deal fairly with your customers, with your
Mhm.
employees,
Mhm.
and with your vendors. And if you
Mhm.
do that with honesty and integrity, even if you fail, they will be willing to give you a second chance. And
Right.
I could talk about, instances where that has happened for me
Yeah.
and for my partners. So honesty, transparency, and just trying to do the right thing at all times is just so critical. I
Yeah.
cannot emphasize it enough.
No, I'm in that space because I spent 30 plus years in corporate, and then I'm in the entrepreneur space, and it's a big difference. And so at
Mhm,
the end of the day, you have to understand that it's hard work. It's
mhm.
not going to be easy, but like you say, anything worth having, you have to really, really try to put your
Right.
best foot forward, and your reputation matters.
Right. And so if I can just give a quick story. So, after I left banking, Bank of America, big corporation with endless endless assets and resources. I left and I joined this small firm. Smith Wiley and Company was the name of the woman-owned firm. I joined as a partner. And the first thing I had to do was, okay, you know I need an office.
Mhm.
How am I going to get an office? How do I get office space? How do I get phones, uh computers? Where's the IT department? Oh, I'm the IT department.
Mhm.
Oh, who's going to negotiate the lease? Well, oh my goodness, that's me. So,
Mhm.
you go through this and you realize that that you're it. And then hiring the first employee,
Yeah.
who's it going to be? And so, that's entrepreneurship. It's exhilarating and it's a little scary at the same time.
Mhm.
But,
Mhm.
you just have to have faith in yourself. Self-belief and faith are just two cornerstones that I think you have to move forward.
Absolutely. And we have our audience is participating. So Tisha Hammond is saying she hear you on those second chances. And um, Beatrice is saying such a great way to grow in such a godly way. And then Jeanette Abraham just joined us. She says, hello, Venita. Good to see you. So I love it. I love it. And so let's talk a little bit about your success. What are some of the benefits of your success? And then I want you to think about what are some of the challenges of your success. Can you share a little of that for us?
What are the benefits? You know what? I don't That's a good question. I'm
Yes.
not sure I know what the benefit. Am I successful? Oh yes, I think people tell me that I am.
Yeah,
So
girl.
so the benefits, let's see. I think that the benefits are that I can tell my story
Yes.
and people will listen.
True.
Um, that's number one. And I think that and the benefit is that I now can bring my true self to anywhere.
Yes.
And I just remember in my 20s and 30s not really feeling that way,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
uh, for many reasons. And so I think the benefits are, I just feel good about myself. I'm able to influence people positively,
Yes.
and I have a level of respect, which I'm due, but it is a benefit of success.
Yes, yes, I think so. And I'm going to, before you get to the challenges of your success, I'm going to move with that conversation about, and that response about your voice, the fact that you're able to help people. And many people are looking to find their purpose to impact in this world, all of us. I mean, we are busy doing our thing in terms of our careers, but at the end of the day, it's really about what impact are we making in terms of purpose, right? And
Mhm.
so today, I know for a fact it's hard for us to look inside and say, here's what's good about me. Other people typically do that, but you're paving the way. Let me tell you what some of the things are. You're paving the way for the next generation, but you're also paving the way for women like myself, because I want to talk for a minute about when did you realize that you can make an impact in this world? Because you're doing that.
Wow. When did I realize? You know what? I looked up and I was older than I was when I was 20. And and I said to myself, how did that happen?
I
I
know.
know I was there when it happened, but I just don't know how it happened.
I
So
feel you.
I'm all kidding aside. I would say in the last 8 to 10 years, I've realized that I could make an impact, and that I was making an impact. Uh, I raised 2 children who are, finally
Yeah.
they're out of the house somewhat, sort of. And so what happens is, between work and raising a family and trying to be a good companion and mate for your husband, you
Yes.
just have your head down.
Yes.
You're just trying to get to the next milestone
Mm-hmm.
because you are tired all the time. You love what you're doing, but you're still tired.
Yeah.
And so I think, as I eased into the numbers with the 6 in front of it, I realized that, this is my time to breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
And to even try to do more with the free time that I have.
Mhm.
Before, I just didn't feel like I could afford the time, because I just wanted to focus on the family, my business, and my surrounding community, but still just so after my kids graduated from college, etc., I just felt like I had more time to do more, and so that's what I've been doing. And
Yes.
and to realize other dreams that I had, like getting on a board.
Right. Well, let's talk about that, because you're on 4 private boards and 1 public boards. And again, I say congratulations, because many of us are hopeful and aspirations of something similar. And how hard was it shattering the limit to land a board seat is my first questions, because we hear stories all the time, Venita, that people try for years and never make it. And then other stories that there's an overnight, because they were in the right place at the right time, sensation. Which one of those do you think there's more of? Those who pay their dues, or opportunity meets preparation?
I That's a good question. I'm not really sure. I would say for me, it was the latter.
Okay.
Preparation meeting opportunity, but I also had to make my own opportunities.
Uh-huh.
And so as an investor, I had invested in companies in my private equity fund, and I'd served on the boards of some of those companies, representing our interest, our fund interest. So that was the foundation of my board service.
Yes.
Which was unique in that many women don't have those opportunities, or many people don't in general. But as a private equity investor, I sat on about a dozen boards.
Yeah.
And I thought that I could leverage that experience to get on a board as an independent director.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that was aspirational, and then I hit reality.
Yeah.
I went to a headhunter.
Yeah.
Who shall remain nameless, and he looks at my resume and he says, "Well, Venita, you have a nice resume."
Nice.
But you're going to have to get your first board seat yourself.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And I said, "Oh, well, thank you so much."
Yeah.
That was very enlightening, because
Yeah.
you come in and you say, "Well, I'm just going to give you my resume," and
No.
and so then I realized that I had to do the work.
Yeah.
And I did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I basically decided that through networking and being a part of certain organizations,
Mm-hmm.
that I would make myself privy to people who had influence,
Yeah.
who might help me.
Yeah.
And of all the boards that I currently hold, all of them were the result of a personal referral or relationship that I've had over the years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's been about building relationships, maintaining them, and
Yeah.
network, and using the network that I have
Mm-hmm.
to say
Mm-hmm.
that I am board ready,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
I'm board worthy. And so you have to declare yourself,
Yes.
get yourself organized, and take time away from doing other things and devote real energy into getting on a board. Now, I remember a CEO who was on several boards, retired CEO. He just told me, "Venita, you're not qualified to be on the board because you're not a retired CEO."
I know.
And I just looked at him and I said, "Well, now let me ask you, are your boards interested in diversity?" "Oh, yes. Oh, yes. We're very interested." And I said, so what you're telling me is that there's so many Black CEOs who are out there that you're going to find one. I said, because those Black CEOs would have to be almost on 8 to 10 boards to maybe 100 boards to even populate the board universe. I said, so I don't think that's very realistic.
Right. Right.
And he kind of withdrew to himself and didn't say anything else, but that was the point. So anyway, so through networking, that's really, and just having relationships. One of the boards that I'm on, the person used to work for me. And he called me up, and he had become very successful. And he asked me to be on one of the boards that he was an investor in. So it's just based for me on a lifetime of working in my craft. And then, making sure that people that were in my universe that I treated fairly and develop a real relationship with, not just asking them to do something for me,
right,
but also offering myself to do whatever I could to help them.
That is great information. And certainly all of us that have that aspiration are leaning in. We're listening to what you're saying, and certainly know that it takes time, and the doors are opening up a whole lot wider than they have in the past.
Absolutely.
And we know that the numbers are changing. Now, there's still work to be done. And there's still a lot of women ready now that certainly haven't landed. But the deal is, like you said, let's be consistent. Let's make sure that we, network, and let's make sure that we do the work. And the work is required from us, and we can't just expect somebody else that's going to do it for us. But I really appreciate this information, and so does our audience. So I want to stop for a moment, Venita, and let you say hello to Evelyn. And she's on LinkedIn. She says, "Good morning, everyone," as well as she's going to use that 6 in front of her numbers when she gets to that age and telling her age. So she likes that.
Okay. So if I could just say 2 other things, is that if I could do it all over again, I wouldn't wait that long.
Right.
I mean, there's so many powerful women who are in their 40s and 50s who could be on a board now. And actually, the boards are looking for the younger voices.
Right.
And so don't wait. Don't wait.
I agree.
If I could do it, I'm not sure how I would have fitted in, but where there's a will, there's a way. So don't wait. And the other thing I would say is all of the boards that I was referred to was the result of work on not-for-profit boards that I had done, who saw me leading the committee, who saw me working collaboratively, and they felt that they knew me well enough to put my name forward. So all of the not-for-profit work that I've done, which I love every one, I'm very passionate about those. That was really how I kind of got on these boards and got referrals.
Yeah, I love it. I would agree with you. Don't wait. If I could do it again, I would have done it while I was still in corporate. I didn't, and I didn't have that mentorship to tell me
exactly
that I do it.
Exactly.
Right.
So I'm telling you now, young ladies,
do it now. Don't wait. Don't wait. Let's talk for a moment. We have just a couple more minutes here. This has been just phenomenal. I wish we had a whole another hour. So let's talk about why it's important to reach back and help women, other women that need help, the younger generation. Why should we as women experience be responsible? It's a responsibility.
Well, who are you holding it for? I mean, who are you holding your talents for? You can't take them with you.
I love it.
It's hard for me to, I just can't think of any other way to be.
Yeah.
If I can help someone, I believe, I'm very spiritual. I believe that when you give, it comes back to you threefold, sixfold, in ways that you can't even imagine. So for me, it's part selfish, but it's just doing good in the world. I mean, there are many problems in the world. It gets to be a little depressing when you think about all the problems, but just try to take care of your real estate. And if you can do that and extend yourself, to your community, you'd be surprised at the dividends. So whether it's other women, other youth, it's it's really important to have a world where our kids can grow up to be their full selves. And if you're holding on to a talent or to something, it's just not doing anybody any good.
I love that. I'm using that. Who are you holding it for? I mean, that just answers the question right there. I mean, you can't take anything with you. So at the end of the day, who are you holding it for? And thank you for joining us, Irina. I think I got it. Irina.
Hi. Good to see you. She's a dear friend. Thank you
Okay,
for supporting me.
IRINA. Did I pronounce her name right?
Yes.
Yeah, hi there. Thanks for joining. And let's talk just a moment about success. You know, giving up is easy, and getting up every time when you fall down is tough again. And we all have had that. How have you been able to keep going in difficult times, Venita?
Well, first of all, faith is the foundation, but get a good counselor. Now,
Yes.
I'm gonna just tell you.
What you say? I'm gonna just tell you. Listen up, y'all.
Yeah, I mean, get a counselor. There's nothing wrong. I mean, there's so many moments of the negative infecting your life.
Yeah.
When you're out there trying to prove yourself, that you just need a voice, an objective voice to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've had counseling, or in and out, for since my 20s.
Wonderful.
I mean, my first job with the steel company was doggone hard. Now,
sounds like my foundry days.
You hear about those people going in and shooting people.
Yeah.
I mean, you just have to be anchored in something that keeps you together so that you can be successful.
Yes.
So those are the things that I would impart to the audience.
Especially as we look at today's, conversation and having gone through the last couple of years with this COVID and the pandemic, mental health is certainly on the table to be discussed much more openly, which is wonderful.
Oh, yeah. No, mental health. What's that? I mean, my mother told me I just needed to get on my knees more. And I said, Mom, I agree with you, but I also got to get a counselor.
That's right.
Now, if I can just say that the last thing that I'm focusing on is my personal health, which I will admit that I haven't been as good about as I should have been. So Irina is one of those people who is helping me with my personal health.
Awesome.
She's a health coach, and I'm just trying to make sure that the rest of my life is still the best of my life.
Perfect. And I am too, because I'm in that, and I'm in the same age frame as you and time frame as you. So I know what it's like. I mean, I try to get my 10,000 steps in and trying to do the things that keeps us going. And there's no reason for us not to take care of our whole self, bring our whole self there. So tell me a little bit about, what do you do for fun?
I don't really know what that is. I think what I'm doing now is the fun me. I mean, it's boring, but I love it. I mean, I'm just fun. Obviously spending time with my husband.
Yeah.
And my granddaughter who's 6, who I love to pieces. I do have a granddaughter who's 6 years old. And that is a lot of fun. But before COVID, I had planned to do a lot of international travel, and that's, kind of on pause for a little bit. But I hope to do that. But, just basically being who I am right now is fun.
Well, I like when you just said, I'm a grandmother's grandmother. So at the end of the day, that's fun by itself. So if you have a granddaughter, I get it, because that puts you in a whole different state of mind, and they keep us young and at the point where we have to stay up on what's happening, Mm-hmm. So thanks for sharing. Now we're going to end our conversation. And again, thank all of our listeners and those that are in the chat. Venita may probably come back in and chat with you a little through just after the fact when she gets a moment, as well as myself. But I'm going to have you part with us today, leaving us with what we call the Career Mastered Moment. That is, what is your advice for women who want to master their careers? And it can be a simple quote or just a statement. What do you think would be good for them to hear they should do?
Okay, well, I don't know how much. So I have 5 things. I thought about this. I'll try to get them up. First of all, build reciprocal relationships, what I've talked about. Don't burn bridges. Don't leave your last job a hot mess. Leave everything in order. And thirdly, leave on terms that you want to leave on.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, get everything that you can out of your corporate experience that you want to get out of it. For you're giving them something, but make sure you get what you want.
Yes.
Counseling, I've already talked about that. And think strategically about everything that you do, from your especially from your career. Just think strategically. What do I want to get out of this job in the next 3 years or whatever? And
Yes.
get those things.
Wow. Thank you so much, first of all, for joining me. Like I say, we could talk on, and I can't wait to meet you real time
Yes.
coming up this month. And amazingly, the things that you have given today, I too can use. So it's not just for the audience. I think all of us can always learn. So I've leaned into the conversation today, and I thank you for your time. I know you're busy, but to take time out and share your experiences with us, that has been great. And I'm hearing from blueballamatters.com. I don't know who that is, but it could be a spam. No, it could be. But at the end of the day, I'm going to have you wait in the green room, and I'm going to talk for a minute, and we'll be right back. Thank you, Venita. Thanks
Great.
for
Thank you,
being
Lisa. Take care.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for being with us today. Wasn't that amazing? I'm still going to go back because I got to write a few notes from the advice and the comments that Venita shared with us. What a powerful woman. And we're so glad here at Career Master Magazine to honor her among so many other remarkable women that will be honored on this coming month, which is called the Career Master Women's History Leadership Program. For those that are not aware, we are going into our 8th year. I put the flyer up just now to show you the tickets are still on sale. We are ecstatic that since 2015, we've honored over 300 women and given over $30,000 in scholarships in my mom's name. And I'm just excited about that work and the work that God has given me to do. More importantly, I am excited that you joined us today. I want to tell you, if you are interested in coming to the event, which again is a diversity summit and leadership awards, you can go to Career Master Summit and awards.com and be able to see from your home or work office, your front row seat, the live streaming. So this year, our event is hybrid. We've actually moved a step closer to getting back out here. It's been virtual for the last 2 years, and now we're going to have both in person and on live stream. So there's really no excuse for you not being able to hear from women like Venita. We also have Needy Devon, as well as Carlos Cubia, Erica Bolden. We have so many wonderful people that will join us for this year to provide content that you can use. Now, I'd also like to share that our spring edition of Career Master Magazine will also coincide with the summit. And on the cover is none other than a remarkable change maker leader, the first African-American woman mayor of the city of Charlotte, Mayor Vi Laus. I can't wait for you to see this particular publication. Each spring during March, we offer a Women's History Celebration magazine, and that's what you're going to see in around March the 22nd. So I just want to make sure you look for that. And again, thank Venita Fields for joining us today. And all of you, I thank you. Again, we've had comments from everybody that says, what a wonderful conversation, so inspiring. And Venita, I hope you're listening. That is kind of the feedback that we've gotten today. And so I appreciate it. In the meantime, I thank each person for coming, and I'll see you next Thursday when we'll have Joy Calloway, I believe, from Planned Parenthood of Greater New York, who's also being honored, and she will be with us for the time of about 30 minutes on Inside Career Success. Thank you for joining us.